At the beginning of the movie, Bill lovingly makes a paper boat for his little brother, Georgie. Excited by the rainy day, Georgie takes the boat outside and watches it float down the street. But suddenly, the boat slips into a storm drain. As Georgie reaches down to grab it, a creepy clown named Pennywise appears from inside the sewer. Smiling in a friendly way, Pennywise offers to give the boat back. But the moment Georgie gets close enough, the clown attacks him. After that terrifying encounter, Georgie mysteriously disappears without a trace. No one knows what really happened, and everyone believes he is gone forever. Sometime later, we meet Mike, a quiet boy who works on his family's farm. He is asked to put down a sheep, but he cannot bring himself to do it. Even though it's part of the family's work, Mike struggles with the emotional burden. The story then shifts to the local school, where we meet several other kids. Beverly is constantly bullied and judged by her classmates, making school a difficult place for her. Despite everything, the students are excited because summer vacation has finally begun. Around the same time, a worried mother continues searching for her missing daughter, reminding everyone that strange disappearances have become a disturbing pattern in the town. We are also introduced to Henry, an aggressive bully who enjoys tormenting Bill and his friends. Meanwhile, Ben, a quiet and intelligent new student, becomes interested in Beverly. Back at home, Bill refuses to believe that his younger brother is truly gone. He believes Georgie might have been carried through the sewer system after disappearing into the drain. However, his father tells him to stop chasing false hope and accept the painful reality, believing it will only make things harder for the family. While delivering meat, Mike notices an old building that gives him an uneasy feeling. Curious, he looks inside and suddenly hears strange sounds echoing through the dark halls. For a brief moment, he experiences a terrifying vision before the mysterious presence vanishes. Just then, Henry arrives to harass Mike, interrupting the frightening moment. Elsewhere, one of Bill's friends visits his father's office and notices an eerie painting of a woman that has always frightened him. As he stares at it, his fear seems to come alive. It becomes clear that Pennywise has a terrifying ability. He uses each person's deepest fears against them, making every encounter feel horrifyingly real. Determined to find answers, Bill begins exploring the town's sewer system with his friends, hoping to discover what happened to Georgie. At the same time, Ben spends his afternoon in the library researching the history of Derry. As he reads old records, he discovers something disturbing. For decades, people in the town have disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and many of those cases remain unsolved. The deeper Ben digs, the more unsettling the town's past becomes. While leaving the library, Ben notices a single red balloon floating through the hallway. Strangely, no one else seems to notice it. Curious, he follows the balloon deeper into the building, where he experiences a terrifying encounter that forces him to run for his life. As Ben escapes, Henry and his gang catch up with him. They brutally bully him and even carve the letter H into his stomach with a knife. Desperate for help, Ben calls out to a passing couple, but they ignore him and drive away. Before escaping, Ben notices another red balloon nearby, hinting that Pennywise may be watching everything. Ben eventually manages to get away and runs straight into Bill and his friends, who are preparing to search the sewers. Near the entrance, Bill discovers another missing child's shoe, making the situation even more disturbing. One of Bill's friends gathers the courage to look deeper into the tunnels. Inside, he experiences frightening visions unlike anything he has ever seen before, forcing him to flee in terror. Later, Bill and his friends stop by a pharmacy to buy bandages and basic first aid supplies, but they don't have enough money. Fortunately, Beverly happens to be there and helps them pay for what they need. Grateful for her kindness, the group invites her to spend time with them at the local quarry. Back at home, Beverly continues to struggle with her troubled family life. Hurt and emotionally exhausted, she cuts her hair in an attempt to regain some control over her life. The next day, Beverly joins Bill and the others at the quarry, where they finally get a chance to laugh, swim, and enjoy themselves like normal kids. For a brief moment, they forget about the fear surrounding their town. Later, the group gathers at Ben's house, where he shares everything he has learned about Derry's dark history. Ben explains that people have been disappearing from the town for generations. The most chilling part is that most of them were never found, and almost no evidence was ever discovered, making the mystery even more terrifying. Near an old well on the outskirts of Derry, people keep finding blood-stained clothes belonging to those who have disappeared. These mysterious discoveries leave the entire town terrified. Children continue to vanish one after another, yet no one knows who or what is responsible. One evening, Bill's friend Eddie is walking home when he passes an abandoned house. It's time for him to take his medicine, so he stops for a moment. Just then, strange noises begin echoing from inside the building. Startled, Eddie accidentally drops his medicine. As he bends down to pick it up, a frightening man with a diseased appearance suddenly steps out, terrifying him. The creepy figure slowly lures Eddie toward the abandoned house. Panicked, Eddie runs around to the back of the building, hoping to escape. Instead, he comes face to face with Pennywise himself. Terrified, Eddie barely manages to run away before anything worse can happen. Meanwhile, Beverly returns home and discovers a small poem left for her. Curious, she takes it into the bathroom to read in private. While reading, she suddenly hears the faint voices of children coming from the sink drain. Thinking something is trapped inside, she lowers a measuring tape into into the drain. Moments later, the tape comes back tangled with long strands of hair. Before Beverly can react, the hair wraps around her body and begins pulling her toward the sink. Suddenly, a huge wave of blood bursts out of the drain, covering the entire bathroom within seconds. Beverly screams in fear as everything around her is soaked. Her father rushes in after hearing her cries, but strangely, he acts as if nothing unusual has happened. Beverly is left wondering why she was the only one who seemed to witness the horrifying event. At the same time, Bill continues searching for any sign of his missing brother. While following mysterious footprints, he suddenly sees Georgie standing ahead of him. Filled with hope, Bill follows him into the basement, but what appears to be his little brother is only an illusion. Within moments, the figure transforms into something terrifying and Pennywise attacks. Bill narrowly escapes before it's too late. Disturbed by what happened, Beverly invites her friends to her house and shows them the bathroom. This time, they all witness the terrifying blood themselves. The group becomes even more confused, especially after Beverly explains that her father couldn't see any of it. Together, they clean up the bathroom while discussing the strange experiences each of them has been having. They soon realize that every one of them has encountered the same mysterious clown in different forms. Before they can discuss it further, they spot Henry's car nearby along with Mike's bicycle. Fearing something is wrong, they rush to find him. Meanwhile, Henry and his gang are bullying Mike, forcing him to do humiliating things while beating him. During the chaos, Mike looks into the distance and sees Pennywise feeding on something. The clown notices Mike and smiles in a chilling way before disappearing. Just in time, Bill and the others arrive and drive Henry's gang away by throwing stones, rescuing Mike. Later, the group gathers to examine posters of the town's missing children. Ben shares something shocking from his research. According to Derry's history, these disappearances happen in cycles every 27 years. Each cycle begins with a wave of missing children before suddenly stopping, only to return again nearly 3 decades later. The friends realize they're dealing with something that has been haunting the town for generations. Whatever it is, it seems to target children and uses their deepest fears against them, making it almost impossible for its victims to fight back. Ben then spreads out a detailed map of Derry inside his house. As they compare the locations of every disappearance, they discover a disturbing pattern. Nearly all of them are connected through the town's underground sewer system, and every tunnel leads back to one abandoned house with an old well beneath it. The children finally piece everything together. They believe Pennywise is hiding somewhere beneath that abandoned house. As they continue discussing their plan, Eddie becomes increasingly nervous after another disturbing encounter. He begs everyone to switch off the slide projector, but the machine suddenly starts operating by itself. The images begin changing on their own, leaving everyone frozen in fear. Then one photograph appears that shocks them all. It shows Bill's missing brother. Before anyone can react, the image begins to change, and Pennywise suddenly bursts out from the screen in a horrifying form, sending the children into complete panic. Although everyone is terrified, Bill refuses to run anymore. He convinces his friends that the only way to end the nightmare is to face Pennywise directly. If they don't stop him now, more innocent children will disappear, and any one of them could become the next victim. As the kids enter the abandoned house, Pennywise immediately begins playing mind games. He creates terrifying visions that separate the group, hoping to isolate them one by one. Eddie becomes trapped upstairs, where the same horrifying figure he encountered before appears again. Terrified, he falls through the floor and is badly injured. At the same time, Richie accidentally gets locked inside a room filled with creepy clown statues. As panic sets in, Pennywise slowly approaches him from the darkness. Just before it's too late, Bill manages to unlock the door and pulls Richie to safety. Pennywise then turns his attention toward the injured Eddie. Bill and Richie rush in to protect him, but the creature attacks them with incredible speed. In the middle of the chaos, Beverly grabs a metal rod and strikes Pennywise directly on the head. The blow briefly stuns him, but it isn't enough to stop him completely. He lashes out again and slashes Ben with his sharp claws. However, something unexpected happens. Instead of fighting alone, all of the kids stand together and refuse to abandon each other. Realizing they are no longer easy targets, Pennywise retreats into the darkness. Bill notices him disappearing down the old well before the group escapes the house with their lives. Outside, Bill insists they must return with a proper plan and finish this once and for all. But after everything they've experienced, no one wants to go back. The argument grows even worse when Richie tells Bill that Georgie is gone and it's time to accept the truth. Bill loses his temper and the friends split apart. Only Beverly stays by Bill's side. She believes separating them was Pennywise's plan all along because he knows they are strongest when they stand together. Unfortunately, no one is ready to listen. Meanwhile, Henry notices a familiar red balloon floating above his mailbox. When he opens it, he finds the same knife he lost earlier. The moment he picks it up, Pennywise begins manipulating his mind. Completely under the creature's influence, Henry returns home and attacks his father while he sleeps. Elsewhere, Elsewhere, Beverly faces another terrifying situation at home. Her father corners her, leaving her with no choice but to defend herself. She escapes into the bathroom and locks the door, but he forces his way inside. In desperation, Beverly strikes him with the sink and manages to get away. Later, Bill arrives at Beverly's house looking for her. Instead of finding Beverly, he discovers signs of a violent struggle and a chilling message written across the wall: "You'll die if you try." Bill immediately realizes Pennywise has taken Beverly. Without hesitation, he gathers the others, and despite their earlier argument, the friends reunite with one goal: to rescue her. This time, they return to the abandoned house fully prepared, carrying homemade weapons and determined not to run away again. Meanwhile, Beverly regains consciousness deep inside the underground tunnels. She finds herself surrounded by piles of debris, with the haunting remains of Pennywise's previous victims suspended around her. As she searches for a way out, Pennywise appears once again. Instead of giving in to fear, Beverly stands her ground. Seeing that she refuses to be intimidated, Pennywise briefly reveals his true form, whose terrifying appearance overwhelms Beverly and causes her to lose consciousness again. The rest of the group climbs down into the well to rescue her. Before Mike can follow, Henry attacks him from behind, still controlled by Pennywise. After a fierce struggle, Mike manages to fight back, sending Henry falling into the darkness below before continuing after his friends. As they move through the tunnels, one of the boys becomes separated from the group. Pennywise appears once again, taking the form of the frightening woman from the painting he fears the most. Before the creature can trap him, the others arrive, forcing Pennywise to disappear once again. While searching deeper underground, Bill suddenly sees Georgie standing in front of him. Unable to resist, he follows his little brother through the tunnels until he reaches Beverly, who is floating unconscious in the air under Pennywise's influence. The group carefully brings Beverly down, but she doesn't wake up. Everyone desperately tries to revive her, but nothing works. Finally, Ben embraces Beverly with genuine care, breaking Pennywise's control over her. She opens her eyes and rejoins the group. Moments later, Georgie appears before Bill once again, asking him to come home. For a brief moment, Bill wants to believe it's really his brother. Tears fill his eyes, but he finally accepts the painful truth. "I know you're not Georgie." With that, Bill fires his weapon, and the illusion disappears. Pennywise immediately reveals his true form and launches one final attack. An intense battle begins as the children fight side by side. Pennywise captures Bill and makes the others an offer. He tells them that fear makes him stronger. If they leave Bill behind, he promises to spare the rest of them and disappear for another 27 years. But this time, nobody runs. Instead of giving in to fear, every single one of them stands together. Pennywise transforms into each child's worst nightmare, trying everything he can to break their courage. But unlike before, the children refuse to back down. For the first time, Pennywise begins to lose confidence. The very thing that once made him powerful, fear, no longer controls his victims. Fighting together, the kids overwhelm him, landing blow after blow until the creature is forced to retreat. Unable to defeat their courage and unity, Pennywise disappears back into the darkness, leaving Derry behind once again. With their friendship stronger than ever and their fears finally conquered, the nightmare comes to an end, and that's where the movie concludes.